Welcome back to Research Fundamentals at UB. Here in Part 2, we will delve a bit deeper into the roles and responsibilities of Sponsored Project Services, or SPS. Sponsored Project Services is the only authorized representative at UB with the authority to submit proposal applications and to accept awards for funded proposals on behalf of a PI. They work with PIs on budget development and ensure compliance with both sponsor and federal guidelines, as well as research compliance-related matters. When it is time to submit, an SPS agreement administrator will be the person to actually submit the proposal to the sponsor. For proposals that are funded, SPS will manage the award, and when the proposal has ended, will handle the closeout of the award. When working with the PI on pre-award services, SPS representatives fill two important roles. The SPS proposal specialist is the person who will work with the PI to develop the proposal application. This includes creating an accurate budget, providing the PI with interpretation of the sponsor's guidelines, and reviewing the entire proposal package for submission. The SPS agreement administrator is in charge of the proposal submission to the sponsor, including the negotiation and acceptance of sponsored project awards if applicable. The first step in working with SPS is to find out who your SPS representatives are. Each department has a designated SPS proposal specialist and agreement administrator. You can find yours by visiting their website and selecting the Find Your SPS Representative link at the bottom of the screen. When you are preparing to submit a proposal, the first step you will take with your SPS proposal specialist is to develop your proposal budget. The PI will reach out to their proposal specialist with the proposal solicitation and an outline of projected costs, including all key personnel and subawards, and the proposal specialist will create an official budget. This process can take some time, especially when discussing components such as direct versus indirect costs and cost sharing. So it is best to connect with your SPS proposal specialist as soon as possible to begin this process. Once the budget has been finalized, the PI can start working on the Click Approval form. This is an important internal electronic form containing information about your proposal that will need to be fully approved by department and school leadership before SPS can submit the proposal. The Click Approval form includes budget information, sponsor information, personnel information, and information about the proposal itself that your department and school leadership need in order to review and sign off on the proposal. Once the PI has completed and submitted the form, it is routed to the PI's chair or center director and dean, as well as to any co-Is and their approvers. This process can take a little while. The Click form must be fully approved in order for the proposal to be submitted. Next, we'll review some best practices for proposal submission. I'll stress again that early contact is extremely important, especially since SPS is a very busy office and proposal specialists are often working against several deadlines at once. PIs should familiarize themselves with UB's research policies. This slide includes a link to the policy library, where you can find important guidelines and information on both pre- and post-award policies. The policy library addresses everything from conflict of interest policies to expenditure policies to make sure that we're in compliance throughout the life of the grant. Another very important point is that PIs should never, under any circumstances, sign anything on behalf of the university. SPS is the only office authorized to sign agreements on behalf of the university or PIs, other than the Tech Transfer Office, which accepts terms and conditions for industry projects. This policy protects everyone involved and ensures all agreements are in line with state, federal, and research foundation policies. As mentioned before, the Click Approval form should not be submitted until the budget has been finalized, in case any changes need to be made to the budget, such as adding or removing personnel, because this may cause the form to have to be rerouted. UB has a 5 business day deadline for review of completed proposals. This means that all administrative aspects and all supplemental documents need to be uploaded in the submission portal and ready for SPS review 5 business days before the submission deadline. Technical and scientific documents, such as the narrative, must be uploaded and ready for review 2 business days before the submission deadline. This is to allow for a thorough and thoughtful review of the proposal components and ensures that a proposal will be ready for submission with plenty of time and not be stymied by circumstance such as a submission system crashing. Finally, we'll talk about the final review and submission process. Sponsor guidelines vary, and while some remain largely the same year to year, such as NIH-R awards, others may be entirely unfamiliar to SPS. Therefore, SPS specialists must review all sponsor guidelines and each solicitation to make sure that they are compliant with internal, state, and federal guidelines. Reviewing a solicitation takes time, so again, getting in touch with your SPS representative early is so important. If a proposal has not met the aforementioned 5 business day deadline, it will get an abbreviated version of the review. This is called an administrative review, wherein only certain required documents are checked for compliance. It is rare that a solicitation calls for an individual, rather than the institution, to submit a proposal. In those cases, the PI will have to familiarize themselves with the application process, including the submission portal. However, even if the PI is required to submit, they must still work with SPS to create their budget, complete the click approval form, and send a copy of the final proposal before submission to SPS to be reviewed for compliance. If you have any questions about SPS or this process, please reach out to your SPS proposal specialist. Thank you for joining us. Please join us for our next video, Research Fundamentals Part 3, Working with the Office of Research Advancement.